Hi guys, so I was a little taken aback when I saw this clip of Andrew Brigden on GB News talking about the exploitation of workers. Andrew is a Tory, and the Tories generally are on the side of business owners, not workers. Andrew raised a very valid point here about how there are two groups being exploited, but perhaps Andrew wants to exploit this issue for his own political gain. Is Andrew really concerned about what's happening to these people? Let's hear what he had to say when he was interviewed about it.
And it's still going on, particularly amongst some migrant communities. Am I right in saying that? These are the people that are being exploited by...
Well, there's two levels of exploitation. You've got your legal workers, British citizens, who are legally allowed to work here, and they're being exploited by having to return a large proportion of their wages in cash to their employer. And then, of course, you've got the illegal workers who've got no right to work here in the black market. They would be the asylum seekers who've failed their final appeal. They'll abscond, and also visa overstayers, and they will be treated actually even worse. They're on about £3.50 an hour cash in hand. They will be living 20 to a house on mattresses, appalling lifestyle, very poor working conditions, and effectively it's modern slavery. These people have no choices. They wouldn't choose a lifestyle like that.
Yeah.
Wow. Kudos to Andrew for raising this issue. He seems generally concerned about the welfare of these workers.
And why is this still going on, and why does there seem to be such a lack of action around it? I know the government, there's a modern slavery helpline that was launched, and over the years it has seen an increasing number of calls to that helpline. But it almost seems like we're almost so preoccupied, almost talking about slavery from hundreds of years ago. We're more preoccupied doing that than talking about the slavery that's actually happening in Britain today.
Of course, GB News had to get the woke angle in here.
Well, the facts are, Mercy, there are actually probably more people in conditions of modern slavery today than have ever been in slavery. This hasn't gone away, it's just changed. And of course, as we're a prosperous country with a minimum wage, a legal minimum wage, there's huge incentive for unscrupulous employers to undercut that. And one of the big problems is that these illegal and immoral employers are actually putting legitimate businesses who are doing the right thing by their staff out of business. And it's got to be found out, it's got to be stopped. It's like a cancer spreading in the city of Leicester. It's predominantly in the garment industry. And you've got systemic failure of all the protections for those vulnerable workers. It's failed in the city, and a lot of the blame must go to the Labour Party. It's a Labour-controlled city.
And there we have it. So he's using the slavery, the real problem of modern slavery, as a tool to hit the Labour Party. His party is in power. His party has been in power since 2010. What have they done about it? They set up a hotline, a number you can call. Well, what about legislation? What about actually supporting the rights of workers? What about allowing workers to form unions? Well, the problem with that is that Andrew has stood on the wrong side of history when it comes to that. This is Andrew's voting record. You can imagine I was going to bring that up. You can see here on trade union regulation, it says here, in 2017, Andrew voted for the support of 40% of those entitled to vote in a ballot for industrial action by state school teachers to be required for such action to be lawful. So he wanted, you have to at least have 40% of voters supporting industrial action. In 2017, Andrew voted to regulate industrial action by those providing certain critical national services, including railways, operators providing buses, trams, underground railway, the National Health Service, the fire and ambulance services. So he doesn't want them going on strike. It doesn't matter if the government treat them like crap, doesn't want them going on strike. He voted no on a trade union bill. Andrew voted to require the appointment of a picket supervisor and for them to be identified and contactable by the police. What the hell was that about? And then finally, in 2010, Andrew voted, this is interesting, Andrew voted to allow industrial action to be declared illegal in cases where there are minor errors in procedures associated with ballot union members. So wouldn't you think that somebody who truly cares about workers and their rights and making sure that they're not exploited by employers would support strong unions? It's demonstrated that organizations that allow unions have happier workers. They feel more secure. They feel more safe in their job. But Andrew has consistently voted against that. Now he wants you to be concerned about migrant workers or British workers working below the minimum wage level. Does anyone truly believe this? Or is this just another attempt by a Tory to exploit people who are already being exploited? Let me know in the comments section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot. I want to say a big thank you to all of my patrons. You ensure that this channel continues to exist. I'm eternally grateful for all of your support. If you join Patreon, you will receive instant access to our Discord server, where we have both audio and video chats. You can chat with me and other patrons, where we discuss important and non-important issues. Becoming a patron per month costs about the same as a large coffee, so why not check it out?